Hello. Hi, Marquez. Yes, healthcare is for the healthy, for the non-autistic. We will find the cause of autism by September. Really cool things happening in the world. Uh, what is that username right now? Fun Crunch. Hello, greetings from San Francisco. I love you, San Francisco. Nobody was doing boat blockades quite like y'all. In spite of all of the criminalization of homelessness and political crackdowns and absurd cost of living, the level of activism that people in San Francisco are on is just so has been so impressive the last few years. It's it's like the handful of like genuinely radical non-wealthy people living there are just like stuck in like a vice or like a pressure cooker or something, and that must be why there's so much more like radical activism coming from them than so many other places. Because like when you know you're cooked, when the cooking has already begun, then you actually start really fighting. Gnome Grenade, the kitty is behind me. Yes, that's Loki. What a beautiful girl. She was being very annoying this morning. She really insists on she just wants attention. She gets so happy when I'm awake. She just purrs and runs around and is so excited when I'm awake. And it's so sweet, but it's so fucking annoying when I'm trying to sleep in or deviate from the schedule that she's used to in any way whatsoever. Loquacious. Yes. Oh yeah, it's Easter. High Holy Day. Yeah. It's Easter. It's 420. Welcome to all who celebrate either or neither of those things. I can only afford to live here thanks to rent control. Oh, you guys got rent control. I am waiting and praying and hoping for the day that we get rent control here in Chicago, because it's one way in which we are so dramatically behind a lot of other cities that are similar in size and dealing with similar things. But there's a lot of there are some fights from local tenants rights groups to try and make rent control happen here, but so far no dice. It's pretty entrenched. There's a ban on rent control on the books as I understand it. So it only applies to older buildings here. Very fortunate to have it. Same apartment for 22 years. Well, congratulations. I wonder if the rules regarding passing it on are similar to in New York, where it has to be a direct relative, right, that you can pass the rent controlled apartment onto. And people just hold on to those things for dear life. But I don't know. I've never lived in a city that's had it, so I don't know a ton about it. I have a friend who had to go to court to get rent control recognized for her Brooklyn apartment, and she did get it. And I think that means that her and her roommate get several years worth of money back from when they initiated the suit to have it instated as rent controlled. So retroactively, she gets that money back for those last few years. But yeah, it's getting ridiculous over here. Chicago does not have the housing shortage to the extent that a lot of other cities do. Sock Food 1, thank you for following. Welcome. Partly because Chicago has been losing population for a long time. So that's a factor. The last several years or like decade or so, unlike a lot of places, it's been shrinking in population rather than growing. And there is a lot of building development, but it's all of this stupid, shittily made $2,400 a month apartments for like yuppie 20-somethings. Hello, Eric. Good to see ya. Welcome. I went to Northwestern from 88 to 92, so spent some time in Chicago. Oh, very nice. Yeah, it's changed quite a bit from then, especially if you were How's the audio? It says I'm hitting the red a little bit. Is my volume okay? Because I know normally it's a little too quiet, so I'm trying to boost it a little. Let me know if it's too grating or if it feels distorted. But yeah, I lived up in Rogers Park for years, going to Loyola, so Northwestern I'm very familiar with too, because that was one of the nearest places to walk to, but it's changed a lot. Is it me or have you froze? I don't look frozen to me, but if you're on the mobile app, then you might be having problems. The mobile app is ass. I hear my alma mater is one of the schools being targeted by Trump. Well, a lot of that it has to do with the encampments. So, yeah, the mobile app is ass. I have no fix for you. It just really sucks, unfortunately. And there's certain features and ways of interacting that you don't have, and it just sucks for some reason, and has for years. Rip. But yeah, Northwestern had major student encampments for Palestine, and I was there. I was at those encampments pretty regularly throughout several of the days that it was up, and I saw some of the police crackdowns on it. I saw some of the really pathetic Zionist counter-protest bullshit, and I was witness to some of the conversations that happened when eventually a very kind of liberal, normalizing wing of the movement cut a deal with Northwestern administration to end the encampment in return for an investigation into the school's investment in Israel and to a promise to put a little bit more money into Muslim student groups. I don't know if either of those things happened, but either way, that's not what the ask was. The demand was divestment, and the people who came to the table and cut a deal with Northwestern administration to end the encampments did not speak for the rest of us. They did not speak for the rest of us as a community who were there participating and trying to get these schools to divest. I know that Loyola's Students for Justice in Palestine lent a lot of their energy to that encampment because we never had an encampment of our own. So we were supporting a bunch of different encampments, DePaul also being targeted by the Trump administration, and Northwestern. And Northwestern turned the sprinklers on in the middle of the night to try and get students to disperse. They had the cops come in. They did nothing to stop Zionists who were harassing people and trying to turn violent. And they threatened students, and they did all of these horrible things to suppress student speech. But they are still dealing with the consequences of having had a anti-Zionist presence on their campus, which really just goes to show you how cowardly and useless these liberal appeals to decorum really are. It was just so pathetic. These schools, they did so much to betray their students. None of it comes as a surprise to me as somebody who's been working in academia for many, many years. I know they don't stand for any political ideals. They're just trying to make money and hold on to their real estate and all of that. But they suppressed student speech in the hopes of appealing to decorum and donors and maintaining normality on their campus. And look what happened to them. They're still being targeted by the Trump administration for, not being anti-Zionist enough, right? For not cracking down on student speech enough or soon enough. None of it would have ever been adequate, obviously, to placate the Trump administration. They're just being punished for having these students and for having students who have a conscience and are doing something, and for making them look bad, and for there being a movement of resistance on campus. And these fucking schools, they are just rolling over, just like Columbia for the most part, and giving their students up, ratting their students out, getting rid of their students' degrees retroactively, all kinds of things. It's liberal prioritizing decorum, as I said, but it is also just hoping to get in bed and remain in bed with the existing structures of power, right? Like these universities, they love to, I'm from Ohio, so like your Kent States, they love to make an identity out of some of the more radical things that their students have done, but they've never actually been anti-establishment. They are the establishment. They are the institutions. And the people that are on their boards are people that are involved in politics, are involved in the military-industrial complex, and are very much invested in colonialism and Zionism, and that's how they make their money from colonization across the world. So it's not a surprise to see any of this, but there is the Schadenfreude-ick part of me that is very happy to see these schools suffering. That like the schools themselves, not the students, that they have tried to get in bed with the fascists, and they're going to continue to lick the boot and rat out their own students, and they're still going to have budget cuts. They're still going to suffer at a time when enrollment in higher ed really isn't capable of growing. The economic conditions and the demographic conditions are just not there so that they can have a growing student body, and they're also doing everything they possibly can to alienate their student body. So these schools are going to... There's been a crisis in higher ed from a funding perspective since Reagan and massive cuts to state budgets. And that's led to things like an over-reliance on adjunct labor, cutting long-term professorship positions, cutting funding packages, increasing the number of for-profit degree programs, administrative bloat that just cut staff positions, all of these awful things. Academia has already been built on this incredibly shaky ground. But now, like, it's going to bottom out even further with how much the Trump administration is gunning for them and cutting education budgets. So, yeah, I hate to see the students suffer, but looking at these universities, the same thing's happening to DePaul, same thing's happening to the University of Chicago. These schools were incredibly violent and hostile to student speech on campus regarding Gaza. Horrible crackdowns, no support when there were any attacks from Zionist protesters. Just incredible disrespect, especially to students who were Muslim or are immigrants. And what did they get from that? Nothing. So it's awful. None of it's a surprise to me at this point, but it is, again, nice on a Schadenfreude level, I guess, to see them suffer. All right, so happy Easter, everyone. Today we're going to drop into a little bit more of a game that I am absolutely adoring, 1000xResist. Heard about them on the Anime Sickos. You can watch all of my prior streams of the game on YouTube, since Twitch's archive is a little bit shitty. That's right, this is why we got to resist 1000 times, and that's part of the message of this game. As I gather it, we're going to find more today in Chapter 7 about that. But this is a game about continuing to resist an oppressive structure throughout generations of misinformation, isolation, stratification of people within society, rewriting of history, loss of memory, loss of community ties and culture, and how when you don't have those gripping points, trying to resist is like trying to climb up like a wet slate wall. It's very hard to make anything that feels like progress, and anything that you do make, as far as you get, it can be washed away so quickly, and you can be just sliding back down. But you just have to keep doing it. You just keep having to build that legacy of resistance and going for it time and again, even if, because of the erasure of your history and the existence of other movements like it and other cultures before this one, it can feel like you're making the same mistakes over and over again, and can be very cyclical. And you might not even know you're making mistakes that have been made before, right? Because that history is gone. But that's really all you can do, is resist, and there's a nobility in that. There's a dignity, I think, in choosing to resist. I attended a lot of protests during Trump's first term, but not this time around. I just feel so defeated. I'm in a similar place. I think also strategically, where I'm at is very, very different. When Trump was first elected, I was a lot more libbed up. I was a libertarian as a young person. So, and you can make fun of it all you want, but that was at least a very anti-establishment point of view. I was a true, like, small L libertarian. Like, I did not believe in the military. I did not believe in borders. I didn't believe there should be a government. I was an anarchist, honestly, but I didn't understand things materially at all. I thought I was very against authority structures, but I didn't understand how capital moves as a type of authority structure and how abolishing the government wasn't enough. But I was still, anti a lot of establishments. Then I went to academia and I had some of my own experiences of oppression on more identity-based lines. And I became very much a liberal in terms of my political activities. And so when Trump was elected the first time, I was at the fucking pussy hat protests. I had my cynicism about it, but I was there. I went to protests that were both kind of more radical left-wing stuff and the more libbed up stuff. And I had a few run-ins with the PSL. I dodged some bullets with getting lured into the PSL cult, thankfully. Knock on wood. Didn't make it too far. I could kind of tell that there were some high control group, weird time-wasty things going on there. But I also did activism for the Democratic Party that was even worse. Some like abolitionist stuff that amounted to just campaigning for local politicians who never followed through on their promises to us, never did anything. And now I do participate less in protests because I feel more defeated, but also because I can see much more clearly when things are tactically wise or not. And I went to a lot of protests for Palestine, and I still do, but I pay attention to who's organizing it, who's getting the credit. Is this a PSL function? Is this an RCP function? I don't really want anything to do with those. And even for groups that I am more likely to show up for, like, more Muslim-led groups, I'm still aware of how liberal a lot of their ideologies are, and their theories of change are very much still peaceful protest, get the permit from the city, show up at the appointed time, and maybe they'll throw them a little bit of a loop by blocking a Starbucks and putting some stickers all over a Starbucks window and things that are a little bit more disruptive and not approved, and I'm happy to see that. But there are very much limits to what they're willing to do and how they go about it, and so I feel cynical, but I think that cynicism can be a good thing. I don't know, as you were saying, I'm a black trans person in a same-sex marriage, so that affects what choices you want to make and what risks you can take. Thanks for the follow. It's management. Thanks for being here. And so, and I also do see, I'm in the groups. I know about other actions, and I've taken part in actions that are far more radical and that I obviously won't ever talk about on here. And I see how those things are organized and who's organizing them. And some of them are carefully, thoughtfully organized and tactical, and people are taking on a risk of arrest intentionally, but trying to avoid it as much as possible. And others are not like that. Some of them are about getting arrested performatively, and then the government has all of your information and all of your close associates' informations, and they have access to your phone and your records even more than they already do. So is that really helping the movement? Or it's groups like the PSL taking advantage of young people. The PSL stands for the Party for Socialism and Liberation. They are a very common co-opter of more radical protests led by more radical groups. They function as a high control group and use very cult-like tactics. They tend to be led by a group of older white people who have been involved in the organization for many decades, but they present a front of, they recruit a lot of younger, their leadership is these older white people, but they recruit a lot of young left-wing people of color and try to use them as the image of their movement and put their bodies on the line in these really high risk of arrest kind of protests and actions. And they also show up to protests that are organized by other groups and try to claim credit for them by taking lots of photos, regardless of whether or not that was authorized. They have their own standard protest signs that they mass produce and then hand out to random people at the function, at the protest, to take credit for those protests. So a lot of times you'll have a pro-Palestine protest that was organized by American Muslims for Palestine or a similar group, and then PSL will show up with their standardized signs. and you'll learn to recognize them. They also they go by a couple of different names. Answer Coalition is PSL as well. And a lot of their protest signs will say things like, "No, in the name of humanity, we refuse to, assent to a Trump, term," or whatever. Like a lot of very standardized language that they use for every single protest. They hand out these signs to everyone, so it looks like they have more members than they actually do, and then they use that as a recruitment tool. And unfortunately, they will often walk people into getting kettled by the cops and get arrested. And they do a lot of shady shit. They've also covered up a lot of sexual assaults. I can put something in the chat that is a master doc on allegations surrounding the PSL and tactics they've used to kind of nullify more radical speech. Let me see if I can find the master doc that I have. PSL link consolidation. So I'll put this in the chat so that people can peruse it. This is a master doc on issues people have had with the PSL throughout many different cities, and depending on what city you live in, the PSL has more of a chokehold on it. In some cities, it's really not as possible to participate in pro-Palestinian actions without interacting with the PSL in some way, because they've taken on leadership positions or they hold a really big sway in a lot of groups. In other cities, they've been pushed more to the fringes. Here in Chicago, they have a strong presence, but you don't have to interact with them or collaborate with them, thank God. It's a lot harder in other cities. I've heard in Tennessee it's really bad. I've heard in Austin they pretty much run the show, which was really unfortunate. When the protests of South by Southwest were happening, you pretty much had to interact with the PSL because they were taking credit for everything and trying to lead everything. And yeah, Answer is part of PSL. They've rebranded many different times because they catch a lot of heat, and anarchists and even like socialist Marxist organizers who are in the know, a lot of them get very cynical about this group because they keep pulling the same shit over and over again. The RCP is even worse, from what I've heard. The Revolutionary Communist Party, that one is the one that is really centered around the writing of Bob Akavian, and that's more traditionally a cult in terms of people really worshiping this one white American guy's theory of Marxism and how it needs to happen, and being a more tightly knit controlling group. But regardless, it's not a great scene. It's both are not where I would recommend doing any kind of radical organizing. And I would, even if you decide, okay, I need to be in bed with these groups or like tolerate them because that's just the scene in my city, I would be very, very careful to never take marching orders from them, because they will come in with the yellow protest marshal vests with a megaphone, even when it is a horizontally organized, no formal leadership kind of action, and they will take over the action and march people right into the cops and get people arrested and things like that. So be very wary of everything PSL, Answer Coalition, RCP, all of those things. I have my grievances with other groups as an anarchist, but I would always say, I'll criticize some things that the DSA does, but do some DSA shit before you do any PSL shit, because they're gonna fuck you over so bad. With one, the worst thing that'll happen is that you'll waste some time. With the other, you'll waste a ton of time and end up in a cult and get arrested. So yes, thank you for letting me speak my piece on that topic. And thanks to the local organizers I know who have made me even more aware of this stuff. I just got really bad vibes when I was first doing anti-Trump actions in 2016 and got looped in very loosely with some PSL shit. I had already been taken advantage of by Democratic organizers enough times since I was a teenager that I knew some of the signs that, wait a second, none of these actions are going to do anything. These actions are just going to make your organization more powerful. and I'm very cynical of that kind of thing. But it's really easy for them to prey on young, idealistic people. People's desperation for a figurehead with all the answers is incredible. Yeah, they are overwhelmed and they fall in with a structure. People are motivated by a desire for meaning and social belonging and structure. You know, not everyone is wired to want to be a leader, especially in a world where people are not given any autonomy over their lives. And so it's very easy to take them in and say, oh, you've had the floor bottom out and fall out on you. The structure of the society that you've lived in and that you were taught was right and just is not. And so now you don't know what to believe in, and you don't know how to behave because all of the rules you've been given all your life you now know are oppressive. But so what is the truth? And so that when there's someone there and a structure that says, hey, we figured it out, we're going to tell you what to do, and you're going to belong here and you're going to be doing something meaningful, of course people are going to believe that. People do not want to figure it out all themselves. It's so scary. It's very existentially threatening, and it's a lot of really deep thinking and uncertainty and isolation. And so people fall in with groups that claim to have the answers and can tell them what to do. And certainly my political radicalization has gone, I've come back around in some ways back to the libertarian that I once was, except now I'm an anarchist. I'm a libertarian socialist or whatever, that I think every individual person has to actually inform themselves enough to know what they're doing and getting involved in. And that is a lot more discernment, and it's a lot more responsibility, and it really takes a lot of time, which when you're feeling really urgent and panicked, it's hard to do that. PSL gets a lot of traction in Texas and Florida from my experience living in both places. They spend a lot of time beefing with local orgs. Yeah, that's my understanding of what the scene is like in Austin. They will come to the meetings. If another org starts to have a large presence, they will bring their people to meetings of that org and covertly or not covertly take it over, speak over people, bait people, and set the tone. And then you have to work with them because their fingers are in everything. Gnome Grenade says, I want to go to protests, but I work a lot of weekends, and that's usually when they are. I would say that protests have limited utility. You know, I think from all of these experiences, I've really learned the limitations of a performative action, especially when most of these protests happen in city centers, and people don't go to city centers anymore. There's very little there, aside from some business operations, but on the weekends, it's just tourists. So I went to a lot of pro-Palestinian protests because it helped me feel less alone. It helped me see what was going on, and it helped me to communicate to the Palestinians and the Muslims in my community, in my city, that they are not alone and that people give a shit. And that is where it felt the most impactful to me, is on that social and emotional piece, which is not nothing. It's not enough. It's not going to dismantle the apartheid state. If you want to do that, you got to do other things that we're not going to talk about here. And that if you have the means to, I think you should do, to whatever extent you can. And you have to be careful and thought out about it and mindful of what skills you have, what vulnerabilities you have. But a protest itself is not going to change things. Like, it's not going to, unless you have dramatically more numbers than we do right now, a protest is only so much. And we do it because it's like going to church. You know, it helps you feel less alone. It helps you get plugged into a community, and it gives you a sense of existential meaning. But it's not the same thing as political change in and of itself right now. So I would never tell someone, you got to go to a protest. I think it's a good exercise for a lot of people who have not done more serious activism, but a lot of people are still operating in this very liberal framework of, I just need to express my viewpoints. I just need to exercise my free speech and express my viewpoints. And it's abundantly clear that our elected officials don't care what we think and don't represent us. And so we have to do things a lot more dramatic than politely asking them to divest from the Israeli apartheid state. They're not going to do that. We're going to have to force it one way or another. Hello from Ireland. Hello. God, I'm getting really bad glare on my glasses. Shaney, Shane, Shane. Happy to have you here. Thank you. Speaking of people who know what it means to resist a colonial power for hundreds of years, beautiful Ireland. We love her. So, shall we get into this game, everybody? Should we get into resisting 1,000 times? Again, if you haven't seen me play this game through before, there are stream recordings on the YouTube, Dr. Devin Price. I think there's a link in the about, and some of it is still also on Twitch, but YouTube is better because Twitch has limited how many videos I can keep uploaded here. It is a really beautifully written game about a society of clones that are the only remaining vestige of humanity after a pandemic came. This alien race called the Occupants came to Earth, and they gave humans a virus that causes them to weep all of the moisture out of their bodies until they die. So you just cry until there's no more moisture in your body. And one girl, a Chinese immigrant, or first generation Chinese immigrant, so child of immigrants in Canada, in 2040, named Iris, was the only human who was immune to this virus. And she was experimented on, and clones of her were made to test possible remedies to the virus to extend that immunity to other humans. It didn't work. Iris got enraged with being a test subject, and then she, we've learned, collaborated with the occupants to kill the other remaining humans who weren't her. And then she took over the cloning technology, co-opted it, made clones of herself, took their immunity away so that she could control them, and created her own highly stratified clone society and erased a lot of human history and created propaganda. So that's what we know about the world so far. But every chapter we unlearn a bunch of things. Every time we think we know what's going on, you realize it's an agenda from someone or a story that's been told for hundreds of years, maybe. We don't know the timeline exactly. So let's dive in to this amazing game. It's okay if you can't follow everything. Some things are deliberately hard to follow because you're getting different pieces of information with each chapter, and the information will often contradict what you were told before. So, because propaganda, baby, and memory is a monster, as they say in Interview with the Vampire. So, let's dive the fuck in to this beautiful game. And let me know how the sound is. I should be a little bit louder than I was the last couple of streams, which should be better, I think. But let's dive right on into Chapter 7. So this Iris's mom during the pandemic, or is this Iris's grandma during the Hong Kong protests? I think it's Iris's grandma during the Hong Kong protests. Because we know that Iris's parents were involved in the Hong Kong student protests, and that's why they left Hong Kong for Canada and then gave birth to her. All right, there is Knower. Oh, I'm in first person now. Oh shit, this reminds me of Life is Strange when you are locked up in the basement at the climax of the game. Yeah, it looks like I'm hooked up to something, tied up. A glove on that hand and my hand is bare on that hand. I don't know if that's normal. Okay, what's going on, Nowhere?
It's really you. I'm so relieved to see you. I thought I was just gonna be left here to die.
You don't look good.
They tied me up. My knees hurt.
Oh, Watcher.
Oh, she's part of it, Watcher. Don't you remember?
You're... okay.
Nowhere is definitely shady.
I'm so cold. It's freezing in here. How did you know where to find me?
It's a long story. Has anyone else come?
I haven't seen a single person. Except your little pet. 24-hour surveillance. It must be dangerous.
Well, Watcher.
Hello, welcome. Who is that? Ari, hi. It's good to see you. Oh my god, this game is so good. If you start really enjoying it, then you might want to watch it from the top, but I think it's worth just taking in some of the storytelling as it is. And then if you like it, you can always watch more or play it yourself, because it's really just an incredible game. Yeah. Glad to have you here.
You are.
Huh?
I've been talking all my friends off about this. I've suckered 5 people now into sobbing. I've been obsessed since I played it sometime last year. Okay, great, amazing. Okay, so you've already played it, so good. So no spoilers. It won't be a spoiler to you. Oh my god, this game is so good, and it's so niche. It's been like such a joy the few times I found other people even streaming it at all. And every time I join the stream, they're like, "You're gonna get spoiled. Like, don't watch where I'm at. Just play it organically on your own." So so far I am mostly unspoiled on what happens next.
Sister,
But it's always good to have people who have played the game in the chat.
I can explain everything.
What is there to explain, Watcher? What possible explanation might bring her back to us? What might balm the hemorrhaging wound?
I mean, yeah, Principal did seem like she was in on it, or that she kind of wanted
No,
it.
it's not what it looks like. I'm not the dangerous one here.
I can't talk about this. Not now.
Nowhere.
It's been getting a lot of traction lately and gotten a ton of nominations. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I found out about it because some friends of mine, the Anime Sickos podcast, had one of the developers on, or the only developer. It's a really small team, right? On their podcast, and just hearing them talk about their thoughts for the game politically, and in terms of what they wanted out of the voice acting not being obnoxious the way a lot of video game voice acting is overdone and obnoxious, it immediately made me want to play. And yeah, it's been so good to see more people talking about it and getting to introduce people to it, because normally I don't make time to game that much, so I'm usually late to the party. So it's cool to be introducing people to something this good.
Help me.
I'll be back. Try to stay alive, okay?
It's weird that Watcher would think that Noah was going to help her at this point.
Mama? 喂？喂？你有冇食藥啊？咁就好啦，唔好再出去啦。你要聽佢哋話。Iris 係佢同我一齊。
Okay, so this is Iris's mom in Canada on the phone with her mom. I guess we don't know who she's on the phone with.
你想同佢講嘢？佢依家唔講得嘢，佢同佢老豆一齊做緊啲嘢。我話佢哋做緊啲嘢啊！
Thanks for being here, sock food. Yeah, that's worth it. Yeah, check out this game for yourself. I haven't explained too much about what just happened prior to this chapter, so you can still jump in clean. Please check out the game. It's fantastic.
擔心咁多做乜啊？佢同我一齊咁耐以嚟都無穿無爛，係咪？唉，點解你係都要拎返以前啲嘢嚟講嘅啫？
Yeah, this definitely sounds like the mom is talking to her own mom.
我哋會冇事，你擔心你自己仲好啦。佢哋叫你做乜就做乜，同埋記住電話。
When the virus is first happening.
喂，聽唔聽到我講啊？
Oh, there she is. I can't talk to this one, just stretching her neck in the back. Okay, what's up?
Perpetual dance of grace, you know? When to hold your tongue, when to look away. I tried to teach you. What has recklessness ever earned us?
God, speaking of academic repression of any kind of politically radical thought or speech, or existing successfully within any organization, right? It's a dance.
If you came by just to tell me I told you so.
All I'm saying is that it gives me no joy to see you like this.
Sure. So, what is it like out there?
Hysteria. Swarms day and night at the memorial site.
Oh, shit. So, again, if you don't want to be spoiled on this game, I'm going to start explaining what some things are in the plot for those who need a refresh or who don't mind spoilers and want to know. So, just so you know, Watcher, who we're playing as, who's tied up, has killed the All-Mother, Iris. Thank you, Fun Crunch. Thank you for being here. And so, because she found out that the All-Mother, Iris, made a deal with the occupants to kill all of the remaining humans who weren't clones of herself. And the occupants also gave Iris and this whole society the little secretary tools that are like their navies from Ocarina of Time. And so Iris was very outraged about, or not Iris, Watcher was very outraged about that, learning that the entire basis of the society in which she lives, worshipping this all-mother figure, is a lie, and she killed her in her rage because she's lost people to the maintenance of this, what she now knows is unjust social structure. So it sounds like people are mourning the loss of the all-mother and that it's chaos and destabilization, and Watcher is being held as a prisoner.
More and more shell suicides each day.
Oh, shit.
They're about to set fire to your quarters.
I'm being wiped clean from history.
Seems like that's happened
what
before.
is it? You've made an unforgettable mess. And it's not even you who has to clean it up. Watcher, is this what you wanted when you struck Mother down?
I think I just wanted to kill her. Ultimately, it was revenge for Fixer, my buddy.
She murdered so many of us.
I see.
Stay longer, the keeper said.
2048. Minus 25. So this is a few years post-pandemic. I don't know what the negative 25
It's
means.
already longer than before. Has an infinity for me, apparently. Burning sensation pulls on my scalp. Don't go yet. So I stay. Don't be late next time, the keeper said. I count each of the sisters on my hand. A reminder. They're amused when I puke a bit in my mouth.
Shit.
Don't be late, they say. Or else.
So she was experimented on for at least 8 years? Is that what we can gather from this? This is my childhood bedroom. And here's my blowhigh.
Hello. It's you. Queen of the Oceans.
Hello, Watcher.
The room's been ransacked, it looks like.
Sorry, you just didn't fit in a backpack.
I cannot provide you absolution.
Fine. Whatever.
Where's your flying friend?
Secretary? Oh, I slammed his ass into the wall.
Shut up.
Can I move? Oh, yes. Okay, we're back in a video game. Alright, looks like it's
I
Mom
can't believe it.
I can interact with.
You're back so fast.
It's over. They shut the place down.
You sure?
Even from blocks away, I could hear the crying and screaming from inside. But I got lots. Antibiotics, medic supplies.
You broke inside?
I was cautious.
Clara, you could have been exposed.
I know. I'm not stupid, okay? Always worrying. Don't you have anything else to do?
As if she isn't always worrying.
Not really.
Remember how they said every student at the dance fell sick? Everyone except for Iris?
Yes?
Well, every nurse has fallen sick. Except for me.
Oh, did they have the immunity too?
What are you saying?
That explains why it was implied that the dad killed himself, right? That he jumped out the window after they took Iris away.
I don't know. Maybe we're meant to survive this. Maybe the Kwans are lucky.
This is our first time getting their last name, I think. Iris Kwan. Oh, ooh. Scared me.
A gift? All your belongings have been incinerated except this box.
Fixer's things. How did you know?
I went to great lengths to extract them from the site.
Hmm.
Do you want them?
Why
That's
would I?
compassionate of her.
What's the point?
I just thought this might remind you of a happier time before all this matricide stuff.
She's the one giving a little bit of Jennifer Jason Leigh performance.
Never mind.
Several of the clones have that like kind of lilting, creepy style of speech. I really like it.
I thought you hate nostalgia.
I do. But I know you don't.
Yeah, I'll take it. I still love Fixer. I want the stuff even if I'm only going to have it for a little while before I die or something.
Thank you.
As long as you don't use these to stab me later.
But if anything, it does seem like a suggestion that maybe I'm not going to die. Or be executed or whatever. The first Watcher. Oh, how you doing, buddy?
Go ahead, from the beginning.
I killed Iris. I admit this. But I was tricked.
I don't understand.
It was Principal.
Hmm.
Principal.
She must have tampered with the communions.
Oh, interesting.
She is youngest.
Of the original 5 clones.
The first Watcher. She came to the other side. How else did she know to come? I know it sounds outrageous, but...
I believe you.
What?
I believe you.
You do?
Principal has taken it upon herself to crash and burn all we knew of life. As we mourn, she is drunk on her unbridled power.
See? I knew it. I knew it. Know her. Hecky Grace. I was so afraid. I thought you'd never...
Oh, she probably already knew, sweetie.
It's going to be all right, okay?
So wait, is this about to set into motion that other clone society that we saw in the last chapter? Like, are they gonna take out Principal and start a new, more egalitarian society that still has all the same leadership roles? They just have a different name and people can choose which track they want to go on?
You killed Mother?
Or is that what Principal's trying to build right now?
But you are still my sister. I'll do what I can to protect you.
I know we've had our differences.
If I can tell our sisters what you told me, I know they'll believe it too.
With all of us, there must be some way to expose Principal.
Whoa, Watcher.
Yes.
Have you just been advanced interrogation techniqued into deciding that Principal is the bad guy here?
Hair to hair, sister.
Hair to hair.
Oh. Observant shell. Oh, okay, I can talk to the shell now.
Hey. You're always there, aren't you? Mm-hmm. What should I call you? Peach, teal, pearl, mauve. Okay. Mauve. How long? How long have I been here? 10 days? 100 days? I'm losing track.
Say something.
Do me a favor. Can you just say something? Anything, really? Fine. Do you know when they'll let me... Never mind. I'll keep to myself.
Oh, the time is just moving on its own. Oh shit, okay, so now I can probably advance it. Only forward, okay. Oh. Iris? We're in the base. She's got her picture of her dead friend Zhao. Oh, I can approach her. Okay, cool. She's got her little fruitcake. And these are the gift. Oh shit. The gift that the occupants gave her.
Wow. Happy birthday, Iris. Yay!
Oh man.
Yeah. Happy birthday to me.
Things are not going well.
You look so good for your age. Asian genes, I guess. And a little something else.
That occupant juice.
Where can I buy some of that? I think you got your fair share. Don't make me blush.
Oh, because she doesn't age either, because she's dead.
Do you feel betrayed? that I accepted their gifts, their attention.
Iris, I think the more, the better.
And of course, she means the gifts from the occupants,
At least I finally
which are
did
these
it.
little guys right here.
I buried every last one of them. Johnson, Mimi, and the fucking rest.
So we don't see the year here. I'm very curious now just how long Iris was being experimented on. It was at least 8 years now, we know. But given that she doesn't age, it could have been a long ass time, as all of the different remaining human research bases were falling apart and falling out of communication, and the last vestiges of humanity everywhere else was dying out. Like, how long are we talking here?
One grave a day.
Makes the sad go away. It's just you and me now, Iris. Forever and forever. I can't wait to spend every minute with you.
Their relationship is so sad.
Zhao,
I love Zhao so much.
I don't think I can eat this cake all by myself.
Okay, I think that's it for this moment. Now we have an all-mother and a purple sister in, looks like, is this what's now principal's quarters? I believe so. And she's got her little gifts from the occupants surrounding her. Yeah, that's baby Noah.
Mother, it's almost time to meet with the keepers.
Oh? Again? So soon?
You've been sleepwalking.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
Eldest. The past haunts me.
The past?
There are things I have done that I regret.
You could tell us what happened.
Our lot to be bound. I suppose I really am my mother's daughter.
At first, in this game, I really hated Iris, just seeing how she treated Zhao and just how she was kind of just spoiled and projecting her own assimilationist thinking onto other people, but, you know, running a fascist society about it. But now I do feel bad for her.
Your mother? From before?
What I wouldn't give for a bowl of noodle.
And who are the keepers? We don't know yet who the keepers are. I think it could be that maybe they're all just like the pets of the occupants now, and they're like monitoring her with these. But that's just a guess. Girlie's been through some shit. That's absolutely true. She's done some bad stuff. She's tortured clones and abused her kids and abused her friends and microwaved a hamster when she was a child. But she's also been through some real shit, and this was a lot to have weighing on you. The last Moodle. Oh wait, 2048 is when the pandemic started. Okay, my mistake. Not 2040.
You always say that a family that eats together stays together.
Ah, look at that. You have been listening to my philosophical musings.
Tried not to.
Well, here it is.
No sympathy. Yeah, that was a flashback when she was a really little kid and they were first moving into this apartment. She microwaved her hamster to death. So, was she always a bad seed? Or was she just a kid with some wild ideas and some poor self-regulation and parents who were super traumatized themselves. I would still be very creeped out if my kid microwaved a hamster. Even not believing in the, like, oh, that makes them a sociopath bullshit. I don't know how I would handle that one. That would be a hard parenting moment.
Your last moodle. That's all the bamboo shoot we have.
If there was anything we were good at, it was eating together.
Oh my god, are they about to kill themselves? Or the dad?
Well, now that you're retired, plenty of time for staying together.
Nah, I'm going back to my old Hong Kong boyfriend.
Myanmar. Jack? The engineer?
Yes, very handsome.
How handsome?
8 out of 10.
How about me?
6.
Is that why you gave me a fake number when I asked you out?
Not a fake number, remember? My dad's number.
And they met at the protests.
You sure
Getting
know how to
gassed.
break a boy. So, why did you stick with me and forget Jack?
You know why.
I do. I just want you to say it. Go on. Say it.
You were a good kisser.
Mojo!
He knew how to work it.
And that's what I told your dad on the phone.
As if.
Of course. How do you think I was able to charm my way to getting your real number?
Come on, Ba.
That's a nice challenge level. It's like, I am going to give you the means to communicate with me, but you need to beat the boss of not embarrassing yourself around my dad and not being afraid to call my dad first. Yeah, the dad has game. I really love the dad in this game. There's just like this sad sweetness to him and everything that he's just trying to hold together, both with the mom's like hallucinations and paranoia and PTSD and the daughter's microwaving the hamster and everything that they're struggling with, how much he just tries to be upbeat, but also in that way that's the only thing he's comfortable doing. It's his own kind of nasty maladaptive coping mechanism from everything. He's so sweet. It's and just heartbreaking, everything he says.
Second time the police beat you up, you asked me to be your emergency contact, remember?
Oh, it was the most impactful part of the game for you. Yeah, it's very emotionally affecting. They feel so young. Like, you see them as protesters, as young people, and then you see them here, and they look really young. They seem, especially when Iris is little, out of their depth in a way that I think most parents are, but you can't appreciate it when you're a child because they know more than you. And whatever they do, you think is normal. And so it's very sympathetic and tender.
Your memory is too good. That story is not as romantic.
Stories are cheap. But the truth, remembering what really happened.
Here we go. Propaganda. Stories are cheap. The truth, remembering what really happened.
That's most important.
But what really happened according to who? What information do we keep?
Oh, look at you. Being creepy. You got some new clothes. What function is that?
Oh, whoop. So the society is taking on a new structure, it seems. Oh my goodness, it's really dark. Oh shit, there she is.
You brought friends. Peach, Pearl, good to meet you.
Oh, is this the shell?
Mauve and I were pretty close.
So now they're more militarized.
You think this is gonna scare me?
Probably for the new social order that's taking hold, I assume. There she is, just chilling on the bench.
What are you wearing?
Now they're all in black.
I'm sorry. Things are changing quickly, Watcher. I've been appointed.
As what?
Look, within these four walls, you are shielded from the chaos. But the rest of us, under the fist of principle, we don't have much choice.
So they're still falling in line again.
Traitor.
Come on, Watcher. Surely you understand. To be as close to her as possible is strategic for both of us.
We're gonna change it from the inside, for real this time. Just trust me, dude. I need to do everything that she says and take on a new role and maintain the new hierarchy so that she'll trust me, so I can change things. I need to do everything I'm being told to do so I can change how things are done. Just wait.
You've gone gray. Where are the others?
Watcher.
They'll defend me, resist this reign. They wouldn't just buckle to authority like that.
Girl, what have they been doing this whole time?
Jump ship. Turn color at the slightest pressure.
Watcher.
Very
You
naive
have
Watcher.
No idea how ignorant you sound. Last night, Principal had our sisters dragged from their quarters and executed. I am the only one who has managed to evade such a fate. I am the only one in any position to do anything for us. So I think you should shut up.
Should you really be saying this in front of Mauve over here?
There is immense pressure for a public incineration. Many want to see you burn alive.
Huh. Do you?
I think the question is that what you want for yourself? Tell me, Watcher. Is there a feeling worth getting incinerated over?
Well, we already have had more than a feeling. We did kill somebody.
Yes.
All this time, and you're still as foolish as the day you started. Before I go, the guard said you are ill?
What?
Principal has requested we maintain you in optimal shape. Guard? Guard, administer a dose.
No. Stop. I don't want that.
I love these gray, black tactical wear outfits they're in now.
Don't.
Okay, who's got a medical kink? This is great. I don't even have a medical kink, but the tied up and the, oh no, a drug's being forced into me and I don't know what it is, and people in slick, shiny tactical gear that makes them featureless and less distinguishable from one another. Very good fetish fuel here.
Don't you dare move.
Oh, I hope it doesn't intoxicate me or mess with my memories or my thoughts.
Watcher, please. Don't make me use force.
Should I resist or not resist? I'm gonna say resist. Unlike my Baldur's Gate playthroughs, where anytime I have a chance to be intoxicated, drugged, hypnotized, or anything like that, I go for it.
Don't touch me.
This is 1000 times resist, so I'm gonna resist. Oh no, don't force me. Oh.
Sister, I promise this is for your own good.
Right there.
Ma，聽電話啦。我知道你聽到我講嘢，你係都要我對住部機器講嘢。好，我可以同錄音機講嘢，好過同你講。Iris，佢成世人淨係見過你一次咋，咁樣你開心咩？你其實可以嚟探我哋，隨時都得。 道你覺得佢毀咗我嘅人生，點解你唔肯講出口？
Because we did get the one scene of the mother and father leaving Hong Kong, and her mother did not approve of their political activities or putting their lives at risk in that way.
你認為我真係會為咗一個男仔拋開一切？唔會，我冇咁蠢啊！我放棄一切係因為你啊，推大
Oh, and
嘅你啊！
the way the mom just turns vindictive when her feelings are hurt, she's done this with Iris too. Like, there's so much to admire about her. Like, she has such keen survival instincts and ruthlessness, but she also just lashes out when she's cornered and says these awful things. It's so realistic of how complicated people are and how the very things that help them survive can also just warp. You know, she's a fighter, but she'll fight with you too.
聽電話，阿媽，即刻聽電話。
And she's been able to cut bait, you know, and run, but that means that she'll threaten to cut you off too.
聽電話啊！
Little Pokemon ass notebook. What is happening? Am I drugged out? Yes.
Watcher, I brought you a book. Oh, you look awful.
Dizzy. Nauseous.
You're just getting used to the chemicals in your system.
Oh my god, my kitty's lip is twitching. So cute.
Guard, double the dose next time.
No. No more. These injections, they make me see things.
What do you see, Watcher?
I see two of you.
Funny. I see two of you, too.
You do?
Yes. I see you on your first day. You were so uncertain. The waters underneath you felt choppy.
Choppy.
And then I saw you talk to Fixer. She said something to you.
Here we go.
I saw how you lit up, and for a moment, I swear, it was like wings stretched out from your back. I see that Watcher in front of me. Wow. She is vibrant, massive. And then I see this other Watcher beside her. Powerless, broken, decrepit.
So she sees something beautiful in the potential power that Watcher has to go against this structure of things, to be more than whatever she's been told she has to be.
Which one is the real you, Watcher?
Do you want to know what she said to me? I can already tell. You and I are going to be trouble.
Guard, unlock the chains.
All right.
And grab a blanket for her, won't you? She's not going anywhere in this condition.
Stretch those arms out. Oh, shit. The spiral drug. Oh, it's Zhao's diary. I forgot. Ooh.
This thing, Iris, how could you?
Oh no, don't brainwash me by putting me on drugs and turning the room into a spiral room and then giving me some artifact to read and freak myself out with.
She loved you.
That might not actually be... Oh. Okay, let's travel through time. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This game makes such good use of a limited number of locations and a very limited number of unique character models. Obviously, it's right built into the conceit of the game. It's just very smart how much they can tell with a relatively limited number of assets and make the fact that it is a limited number of assets something to work with and play with and adds to the depth rather than detracting.
No wood? Did you bring the cleaver back? Or did you fail at that too?
Oh yeah, here's the mom being just ruthless.
Never send a man to do a woman's job. Or any job.
Just the pressure of having to hold everything together is then just directed back out with this rage at anything that makes her job harder to do.
Clara, did you hear what I said? I'm just glad to come back at all.
You come home empty-handed and you want me to celebrate? It's like you want to freeze to death. Wait till Iris hears about this.
Yeah, let me freeze to death. Better than being trapped with you.
Uh-oh. Morale has declined significantly. Oh man, I'm still tripping balls. Iris and then baby Noah with her little glasses, her little Matrix-ass glasses.
Sister 6. Bring her, the keeper said. My youngest? I smile. No, that is not what we agreed to.
The secretaries are opened up now.
I am all you need. I have more to give. I arrive on time. I bring offerings they like in 6s.
Is that clones? Does she bring them clones to kill?
I am at my most gracious and powerful. My focus is unencumbered. Don't go yet, they say. So I smile.
Okay, I think the keepers are the occupants. And that doesn't mean they're entirely unsympathetic either, because we know they were fleeing some kind of cataclysm and trying to make contact with humans, maybe for their own survival. Maybe they need to kill humans to survive. Am I reading too much Vampire Chronicles shit? And that's why I'm thinking that. But it sure sounds to me like she's been sacrificing sisters to the occupants that are keeping her and everyone hostage. Is that what's going on here? Not gonna talk to me? Oh, there's nowhere.
Get out of here.
Hi, Watcher.
The only one who visits. I'm sick of you. Sick of your face, your voice. Right, Mauve?
I need to tell you something.
I don't want to hear it.
I lied about being the only sister left.
Sure.
Fixer is alive.
Oh shit.
The incineration was a setup,
Okay. I thought as much.
as was Fixer's appearance in your first communion.
Whoa.
Who are you communing with then?
Principal?
I was communing with Principal.
As you said, it seems she knows a thing or two about being a Watcher.
Fixer. Fixer is alive?
Yes, alive and very well.
My Fixer?
Yes,
I need to see her.
I'm not sure that's possible.
I need to see her.
There is simply no way Principal would allow.
Isn't that why you're her little puppet? Sorry. I just... Please.
I'll see what I can do.
But if Fixer wasn't the one in the communion in the first chapter, then what does Fixer know? You know, Fixer isn't necessarily as radical as Watcher thinks, especially if she was in on, like, was she in on Principal's plan, or was she forced to carry it out? Oh god, are they filming like a suicide video or something? Like a goodbye
Tell her there's no more cell connection here.
for their daughter?
So if she's trying to reach us, she can't. And the lapchung is under her bed. Locked up because of all the crazies trying to break in. She better not be going to bed with wet hair. Probably no water left by the time she's back anyway. Make sure she knows we suffered. Are you listening? Did you hear me?
Oh god, the dad cannot cope at this point.
How am I gonna remember all that? Why don't you just say it?
Because she'll listen to you. Write it down if you're going to forget. What? What's your goddamn problem?
You don't even know when or if Iris will watch these.
Oh, he's lost his optimism, his forced sunniness.
Why wouldn't she?
Because we don't know if she's alive.
Huh? She said she'd come back, didn't she?
Yes, but you know this area is dangerous.
And she's immune. No excuse.
She's so harsh. But she has this determination. Like, she's still kind of going when everything has fallen apart, and he just can't. He just can't take it.
We can't bury ourselves.
Damn.
That la.
Like, she can really get into the, like, bleakest possible reality, and he just can't handle it.
I didn't raise a liar.
But her thinking is obviously distorted too. But it's just this, like, determination that's just, like, on a crazy level.
Hey, can you just press record?
It's been on this whole time.
God damn it, Clara.
Clara Kwan.
Muy. Me again. It's Monday, around noontime. Day 62, I guess, since you left. How are you?
Oh, jeez. So that it's a counter going down. So are we approaching the day before they... Well, before he jumps off the balcony? Oh, shit. So, it looks like the occupants have killed everyone. In accordance with the deal Iris made.
It's so quiet. You're all so still.
Yeah, is it better to be free of your jailers and torturers? Or are you missing any other human contact? The secretaries and Zhao's picture. And here's the youngest. The first Watcher and the future principal.
This is all your fault. They left because of you. Everything about you. You're pathetic.
Oh my god. Clone Zhao. All Zhao gets to do is just suffer over and over. I was so proud to see that they had their own resistance force later on. And now here we have, this is the last Watcher, the statue of Iris, and me,
Fixer,
and Secretary.
I'm sorry. I had no choice.
So who the hell am I right now? Am I just in my own memory palace? And here's the new era where people can choose what color they are, and a bunch of shells live in like a Neo Hong Kong and try to rise up to this level to like achieve status. And it's the body of the last Watcher, supposedly imprisoned or dead and taxidermied.
They use us and then throw us away.
You're right. And demonize you for how you cope with it.
Where is she?
I don't understand the year system yet. Like, I don't know what 2AA means, but that's obviously intentionally hard to follow.
Is she here? Tell me you brought her. What? What's wrong?
There's something you should know.
Every time there's
What
something I should
happened to
know.
her?
Just calm down for a second.
Oh God. Did Principal get her?
Fixer is fine. She is safe. But you can't see her.
Why?
Because she doesn't want to see you.
I mean, Fixer isn't the person that we've thought she is because she wasn't in on that communion, if what we're hearing now is true. So it makes sense.
She doesn't want anything to do with you.
Didn't you tell her? Everything that happened to me?
Yes, she knows of your claims.
Your claims.
She also knows that, while communing, a Fixer identical to her asked you for help. And you had her killed.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's not fair.
I did rat that out.
Fanny, she really thought you weren't one to buckle to authority, jump ship.
Fixer.
They've all done it. There's so much that this game is hammering home about having compassion for people who have done awful things. And there's something going on here with Watcher having been someone who did reinforce their existing society's power structure in ways that got people killed, that were heinous, but she didn't understand how things really worked at the time and didn't understand the depth of what she was complicit in. And she doesn't find out until later all of that. And so as the player, you look a lot more sympathetically towards her enforcing the existing power structure and its authority in the past because she didn't know any better and was being manipulated. But that's also true for almost every character, it seems like. They have limited information, they have their own ideology that they're wrapped up in, and they're trying to survive. And so but then they do all of this shady shit like Noah's doing. And not just being complicit, but carrying out what makes that society so oppressive. So who's even to blame? Who's the person who's actually responsible for everything that's evil in the contours of the society? It's not any evil person, right? It's how the society is set up and the incentive structures that make people do these things and the limited amount of information that they have. So that, I think, is something that the game has done a really smart and nuanced job of portraying. I think that's what they're getting at, is that there is no great evil here in any of this. I don't think even the occupants are going to be some great big bad evil, or Iris, or Principal, or any of these people, but they're all operating within a structure that has these incentives in place and these expectations that make them do all kinds of horrible shit.
Turn color on her like that?
The parents too, right? Like the mom has done and said really, really hurtful shit, but she's just trying to survive and help her family survive.
No, no, no.
And then, to add salt to the wound, you murdered Mom. Watcher, Fixer hates you. calling for your public execution.
Oh my god.
I can't.
And how much of this is true, how much of this is manipulation, we do not know.
And she has every right.
Stop. Please stop.
Sister, maybe it's time to accept that you aren't who you think you are.
Hmm.
And there's no one left who loves you.
Oh. Looks like we've got a fun little bot in the chat. Let me take care of that. Ban them. Been a long time since I've had one of those. We have pretty good luck on this channel.
But me.
Shit. The manipulation. The Stockholming. Okay, so we have the youngest outside of a small condo that Iris is in.
Don't come in. Mother, are you awake? I need your help. The others won't play with me.
This is Mother's time. Do you hear me? She needs you.
I'm surprised that Iris ever stayed in one of the regular condos.
Does she?
I asked Sister Purple, but she ignores me. Sister Pink won't even. Mother?
You are tense. I can give you a massage.
Mother! Hello?
Stop calling! Iris.
Yeah. Zhao, the whole thing just makes me so sad. Like, the codependency. The trying to win over someone who's just so cruel to you. Looking after others' needs.
Don't yell. You said you hate yelling. Just
And how this is all a really amplified, even more woobified version of her, like in Iris's mind. This like punching bag Zhao.
give me a moment, youngest.
Oh god. Barely see in here. Oh wait, the bedroom is open. Sorry, it's really hard to see with the glare right now. I might need to close the windows. There she is. Okay. Oh, they're still alive. Okay. Whew. Fuck.
What?
Scared for a second there. This ever-present reminder of the worst version of yourself and what you've done, trying desperately to keep you still sane in your lonely existence. Yeah, that your imaginary friend is this person that you kind of abused because of your own self-loathing. Yikes. And then you're surrounded by clones who are also sycophants, who need you. And you're still mentally like a kid, basically, because you never got to grow up or have any life experiences other than being experimented on and then killing your captors. Yeah, Iris is not coping.
You don't have to keep cleaning her room. It's 4 in the morning.
She'll be back any time now. Mother's intuition.
Okay.
You think she's gonna come home grown up? In her own room? My cousin? When he came home from college? Moved back in and was even worse than before he left. Acted like a returning scholar deserving of a maid. Give me a break. Video her tonight and remind her that when she's back and we're dead, she better clean up nicely.
God.
Why don't you say it yourself?
No.
Clara, how long are you gonna stay mad?
Mad? Who's mad?
She's been mad her whole fucking life.
I just have nothing to say to her.
Damn.
Watcher, there's been unrest. Insurgencies abound.
What do you mean?
Sisters are rising up against Principal and her new government.
All right, here we go.
I think I can make a case for you to get out of here.
We know that she ends up locked in the fucking crystal in the courtyard, so where is this gonna go?
Let's go over it again. What you told me last time.
The moment All-Mother fell to the ground, I turned around. Principal was there. As if she was waiting there the whole time. And then All-Mother called her youngest. As in, she's the ancient sister. Which makes so much sense because...
Wait. I have it written down that you said Principal took the train with you.
No, that can't be.
You said this was all her idea. And she told you which
Oh,
train to get
no,
on and
girl.
on the platform. These are your own words.
I don't remember saying that.
I was late. I tried. I was rushing, and then it was an accident. Can't they see that? The Keepers. There's no reasoning with them. There's no reason with them. How could they? To my children. 3 of them were unlucky, but Pink is in the worst shape. I pull her close, rock her to sleep. She coughs and coughs. Red. And now it's just a game to them. I'll do anything. They know that.
That's what you said to me, Watcher. Principal was on the train with you. Are you saying you were lying to me last time?
No, I swear.
Watcher, it's not going to bode well for us if you can't keep your story straight.
The gaslighting.
Guard. Another dose.
Yeah, fuck her up. That'll get her memory really flowing.
No, wait.
Nice and juicy.
I need you to help me help you, okay?
Okay.
Clumps of hair falling off. After each visit, I sleep longer. And longer. I comb my hair, then braid and wrap it up. So everything is tight and the loss is hidden. Pink is healing. I cry with relief.
Was Principal on the train with you or not?
No, it was just me.
How sure are you?
How could I forget? Holding onto the train handle and feeling so alone.
But Watcher,
She must have found a way to operate an unscheduled one.
we already checked the records last time. There was no other train. You seem confused today. Is it possible that you're remembering wrong? That you're losing grasp on the past?
Becoming careless, they said. A gentle reminder of my duty, they said.
So this definitely sounds like the occupants are punishing her when she doesn't visit them exactly on time and bring them clones, and that they've attacked some of the other clones to punish her for that. That's what I'm gathering. That's the implication that I am getting.
Keepers, I swear. Leave the sisters out of this. Let me bear the burden. Shaking. Can't stop. They can't see me like this. Weak. Please, children, no more knocking. I can't take any more knocking.
And so she's just trying to protect them from getting killed, these ones. And they're having their little petty dramas from her point of view of ostracizing Blue, or the youngest.
Was Principal on the train with you or not?
But what is the truth? What really happened? That's what they're contending with right now in this chapter.
No, I don't think so.
How sure are you? We already checked the records last time.
And the repetitiveness and the scripting. That's a big part of a lot of interrogations where they get false confessions out of people.
There was no other train.
No, I don't know.
It's okay, sister. Mother was sick too, you know? Sometimes when it got really bad, she'd start to mutter in tongues.
Oh, what the fuck are you talking about?
Even I couldn't understand her. She'd walk around late at night, sleepwalking. She'd slip away from reality all the time.
That sounds like Iris's mother, with her late night cleanings and flashbacks.
Especially without medication.
You didn't know her.
Based on my observations, it's safe to say that you inherited such sickness from her.
I just want to go home.
Yes, I know. That's why I'm here.
Youngest almost walked in during my time with them. Knock. Knock. Not the visits. Not the threats. Not even the smell of my singed skin. I swear, the knocking will be the end of me.
These damn kids trying to bust in on my Zoom call with my boss. I'm gonna go fucking crazy on them. But that's how it is, right? You get mad at the acceptable target. And as much as this game draws a lot of parallels between different political situations and relationships across characters, it never feels too, like, on the nose and malicious. I really appreciate that about it.
A boyfriend?
Well, it could be anybody. Whoever. A significant other. A partner. Or partners.
Iris said poly rights.
It was important to humans before to have more than themselves. And to be intimate with them.
Poly rights, yes.
Is that what you do with the keepers?
Oh, where is this going?
Excuse me?
The keepers that you whisper to every...
You have no idea.
That you whisper
what you're
to every
talking about.
night. So the clones have been banging on their mom's door, thinking that she's sexting with the keepers via the secretary robots. And meanwhile, they're like threatening to kill her kids and shit.
I watched you.
Story time is over.
Wait,
Get out.
but Mom...
I said, get out.
And she's ashamed of maybe the extent to which that's kind of true. That it's one of the only companions she has. Yeah, no, it's very uncomfortable to talk about. With all of the pressure that's like weighing on her. And how much she's trying to talk about this topic that's already really uncomfortable and hard to make these clones understand in like a pretty even-handed way. And then the kid says like, oh yeah, so you're fucking your jailers who knows what they've done to her, right? Like, yeah, I think I'd be outraged too. I think that does make sense. That reaction makes sense. None of the parents in this game are perfect. Oh, can I get through this door? Doesn't look like I can. Now I can go back. Video game logic.
Just asked a question.
I know. Your mother's been through a lot.
She never gets angry at anyone else.
That's not true.
Not like she gets angry with me.
She gets angry at people. Zhao can definitely tell you that. Anything else to see here? Yes. Oh, this conversation. Happy Easter. Belated Pesach to those who celebrate. Hello, Mask for Mask. Welcome. Happy 420. Okay. So I only have these 2 time points. Okay, I can go into this room too and do the same thing. Silly me. Oh, there she is. It's my nephew's birthday as well. I'm trying to be normal about the date until he's much older. You know, how old is he? You can talk about weed with kids, but the parents might not feel great about
How
that.
does she know?
I didn't say anything, I swear. She's nosy.
Not an ounce of privacy here.
I'm sorry, Iris.
I'm going out of my mind.
Why don't you tell them?
They are children. What can they understand about sacrifice?
Oh, speaking of, she doesn't she doesn't want to have to broach these disturbing subjects and talk about what she's being put through, which sounds like it's absolutely awful and already has been in the past. And she's bitter too about how much she has to shoulder all of that stuff on her own. But the reason she has to shoulder all of it on her own is because she's not telling them. This is just like an actual family structure. He's a whittle baby, but his folks are smokers, so it'll become apparent sooner or later. We love it.
This place is just all fun and games.
Maybe more discipline then.
The child autonomy stuff has been so interesting to read, and I wish I had been up on it enough to challenge the stuff they taught us in school. Yeah, though who knows how that would have gone. It's something that people are very, very resistant to because it's one of those authority structures you're supposed to never, ever question, and people get very outraged when you do. It's so tough to work around if you're in education or childcare or anything else
Yes,
that touches
that's
on
how I was taught.
being around kids. So Zhao said more discipline.
It's for their own good.
Oh, back in the torture chamber. Now Noah has some red on her. The principal's red.
I've come with good news.
I don't believe you.
I've been given orders to let you go.
That's not funny.
This is how she ends up in the crystal.
Watch her. Look at you. You're barely recognizable. You've suffered enough. Guard, disarm the security systems.
Willie?
I can go?
Yes. Tread lightly.
No,
Watch
they're
her.
about to get her. They're about to jump on her ass and put her in the
The
crystal.
world out there has drastically changed. There is just one thing I need from you.
What is it?
I need you on broadcast to plead guilty.
Yep, a confession, of course.
Just
The fake out.
confess that it was all your idea. There's a few sentences of apology and then some hailing the provisional government. I've written it all down for you. It will be easy.
You ask me to lie.
That's not what I said.
You ask me to unknow, unsee.
I give you choice to end this excruciating and unnecessary suffering of yours. Principal could have had you killed at any point. Any. This is just a small expression of gratitude she requests.
Small.
Yes, small, but significant. To put the past behind us for good.
As if she could confess to this and not have any consequences. I'm seeing also that it's now year 3 AA, so it's been at least a year, or the next year has turned over since this started, supposedly.
Okay?
If I do as you say, what will happen to me?
You will be granted amnesty. You'll be escorted to Old Town Quarters, where you'll be reset with a new identity, new function.
Reset.
And you'll get to live peacefully and
Oh,
quietly.
shit. So is Blue actually just Watcher? And then who's the Watcher in the damn crystal? And why would they do that? Why would they bother doing that?
You'll meet new sisters, find new hobbies.
And if I don't?
it'll be exactly this. You, here in this cold, awful hole, with nothing but your thoughts to think. For the rest of your life. What will it be?
No.
Watcher, I beg you.
No.
Guard, you know what to do.
Hit her with the juice. Fuck her up.
You never learn, do you? After all this time, the world is complex and requires a complex response.
It's nuance. It's decorum.
I lied, Watcher. If you don't confess, it won't be exactly this. It will get much, much worse.
Good God. She's the knower, but she sure isn't the teller. Okay, it's dark as fuck. It's hard to see what is going on here. And I can't move through time right now either. 2049 CE. So this is only... So am I Iris right now? This is only a year after the virus. The Iris virus. Where am I supposed to go? I can't see shit. Doesn't seem like there's anywhere I can go or interact with. Turn up my brightness better. I think I'm at good brightness. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Oh, here we go.
Okay, should be enough drinking water for probably the next 8 days. You know, you'd already be dead if it wasn't for me.
You and this survival operation.
He's given up, honey. He does not care.
When does it stop?
你究竟講緊咩啊?
Look at you, spending the rest of your days scavenging supplies, hoarding plastic bags of all things.
The bag of bags
All these napkins.
under the sink has not stopped.
I do all of this for you.
Did I ask for this?
Oh my God. This is parents, man. Oh shit. Parents who have had to survive through some hard, traumatizing shit and have that codependent bitterness. All that I've done for you that you never asked for. That song from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Enough of this. Always a martyr. Everything you do is for Hong Kong, for your mom, for Iris, for me.
You only know how to sacrifice, and then resent the shit out of people for all that you have sacrificed.
All these decades living with you, and I don't even know who you are. I don't even know if you know.
The mother figure as defining herself only through what she's sacrificed for other people.
Just for once, can you be selfish?
Can you be selfish enough to not have it bleed out into everything you do that you say is an act of love?
Have feelings, desires.
Stop it. People will hear.
There's no people left.
Oh, the neighbors? What do you think that smell is? The neighbors are dead. Forget them. Forget me. What do you feel? What do you want?
God, the dad is so good.
What a stupid, impractical question.
Wrong answer. Try again.
But I know that I would be more like the mom in this situation.
These are the last days of your life, Clara. What do you want? The last days of your life.
She just pushes him off the balcony.
I want you to kiss me.
Oh.
Touch me.
Oh my God.
Okay. Okay.
Wow. I think realistically she wouldn't actually have it in her to know that and to say that, but as a game moment, that was so disarming. Oh, here they are in the bar, partying. So sweet. Got some real chill hop tunes playing right now. Oh, I'm so glad to see that they had a nice moment together before everything ended, amidst all that horror. I don't want to leave them. I don't want to move forward. I don't want to see them die. I have so much more compassion for the mom than I did at the beginning, too, just like with Iris. Oh. And now they look more holographic here in Old Town. My watcher getting moved in. Oh yeah, do it, Mom. Look at her. That's the best dancing we've seen these character models do in this whole game. They always dance like Sims. Here they are through everything. Oops, shoot. Oh, I can't move. Mauve is dancing too. Versions of your parents exist in every iteration of you were powerful to me. Oh, Ari, you don't gotta tell me that. It's a thing I think about all the time, you know. Doing some singing. Very cute. Oh yeah, they're singing. It's you know, my family's generational trauma is very different, but in some ways, and in some ways not that different. But the repression, the sacrificing everything, and having no sense of self, and being bitter because of all that you have given up. The like one serious practical parent and one kind of flighty fanciful parent, and how both of those sides exist within you and are warring within you. It's some like internal family systems shit. Like I don't always agree with actual IFS. Like I don't think every version of yourself inside of you is some wounded child version of you that had some horrible experience. Like it's often felt to me from a systems perspective that like my mom and my dad are both inside of me and have all of these different tendencies and skills and triggers and things that they're awful about, and selfish points and inability to deal with emotions or explosive emotions, and they're at war with each other and hate each other on the inside, and they both exist at the same time alongside all of these other flavors and sides of me that are different admixtures of their various traits. And sometimes it's a great feeling of grace because I've got all of these ways in which they're incompatible with each other and had these fatal flaws. Like, they can kind of counteract one another inside of me as their kid. But then there are times where you just hear yourself saying something that one of your parents would say, or doing something they would do, or you reach the limits of your own emotional range, and it's something that you swore up and down you would never do, that you would never be cold in the way that your parents were cold, that you'd never be cruel in the way that your parents were cruel, that you were better than all that, and then and then you still are. And that can make you feel more gracious towards them, even if maybe you can't have a relationship with them. It's heartbreaking and touching and human in all the worst and best ways. Yeah. There is no tidy resolution to it. It's an endlessly fascinating thing. Me looking in the chat only to be personally attacked. Yeah. Oh, this is really moving. That you'd be a good communicator 100% of the time, only to find out that isn't possible. That I would be emotionally present, only to find out that there's emotions in others I'm just as uncomfortable with as my parents were. That I wouldn't be selfish and impulsive, but then you have to be sometimes, or you'll be so self-sacrificing that there's none of you there. So you alternate between making the mistakes that one parent made and then making ones that the other made. And sometimes it's a synthesis, right? Like it's this dialectical thing happening inside of you. This is what I really like about the book, The Corrections, which is by far Jonathan Franzen's best book. I read it as a teenager, and it was all about how there's this line about how you live your life to be a correction of the life that your parents lived, but their own lives were a correction of their parents, going all the way back. And so there's always this overcorrection, or this still defining yourself by the past. So you can't quite escape it. Even when you're trying to define yourself as doing things differently, you're still being shaped by it. It can be so haunting, and it also can make you feel connected to something. Yeah. And this is such a bright moment in the game and in their lives that I just don't want to move it forward. Oh. Oh no, now they're talking, now they're getting real with each other. Oh shit. Right over the statue of their daughter. These are the gods before the god, you know, and they're just flawed people. Young people. They seem so young. But we're always young, you know. We never have it figured out, and we're always so volatile and acting out of emotion and hurt and fear and everything. Ugh. Yeah, I used to think that all the dramas between my parents inside of me that were playing out were unique to me. And I used to think that some of the family trauma that I had was just the most dramatic thing that could ever possibly happen to a person. Like, I thought it was my life story when I was like 18 and going through like family estrangement stuff and parental death stuff. And, you know, it was very dramatized in my mind, and it felt like this horrible personal thing. And then life goes on, and other bad things happen to you, and you realize, and they stack, you know, like a Matryoshka doll. And then you eventually come to realize, if you're not too self-involved, that we're not exclusively self-involved, that everybody has those things. Everybody is just a Matryoshka doll of awful experiences and past selves. And the average person next to you on the bus has been through some of the most dramatic shit that you've never even heard of. And what you thought was so dramatic is yes, it is dramatic and traumatic, but it's also just the fact of almost every human life. So many different difficulties that you just can't even talk about all of them or have them known or understood by another person entirely, or even in yourself, and that everybody's got these familial issues. They might be slightly different, like what the warring selves inside of them are. But like, it's so interesting to read Mask for Mask. One of yours is like, you know, you told yourself you'd be a good communicator, unlike your parents, and then you find out it's not possible. And so then maybe you feel a little bit more grace for your parents. And mine is like a lot of this emotional repression stuff, among many other things. But there's so many different kinds of struggles like that that people have in them, and I'm curious to hear what other people's like warring selves are like inside of them. If anybody else feels like they are a literal internal family system of their mom and their dad and their past selves fighting with each other. I need to put this over some Midwest emo guitar. No, that sounds lovely. I take it as a compliment for sure. It felt at first isolating, but then ultimately freeing to know that these stress points and pains and broken promises to yourself exist everywhere, in all of the people dear to us and around us. It can be difficult sometimes, like when you're trying to connect with someone about it and they're so wrapped up in their hurt that they can't hear you, or what you're trying to convey just isn't coming through. That's something that's really difficult for me. I've found now, understanding this stuff better, it's still so hard to communicate it. It's almost impossible to communicate all of it. And then you have the fallibility of memory and your own agendas, and you forget things. And so you can't get all of it all the way through and out. And even if somebody could understand all of it, that doesn't mean you're going to get along or not have problems. But I think after enough bad things happen to you, after you live long enough, it's really humbling in a good way. If you let it be, it lets you see how much you have in common with almost everyone. Even if you don't like the person, even if you're never going to get along with the person. Like, it's humanity.
You remember? In the darkest of times, it was songs that got us through.
I thought it was our bickering.
That was our last drop of alcohol.
But we have bottomless song.
Oh, there's that little sing-song quality to his voice. It is very spiritual. It is.
Wow. I know you've been unhappy for so long. Iris is gone. It's just us now. You don't have to pretend. I regret leaving.
Hey, that's your drunk talking.
I regret all that mess we left behind. What was the point? Fighting for freedom? The 5 demands?
5 demands. 5 sisters.
It was a mistake.
You know that's not true.
All it did was expedite the end. Brought their fists down harder, faster.
What's the point in resisting if you're not going to win?
Come on, Clara.
We lost, didn't we?
It wasn't just about winning.
What? What was it about then?
You remember? In the streets? Hundreds of thousands marching shoulder to shoulder. Biggest demonstrations in HK history. The world watched it all happen. Heard our voices. Saw us bleed.
So?
So? If we stayed silent, didn't stand up for ourselves, they would say, this is how it always was. They would say, this is what the people wanted. No, they can't say that, because it has gone down in history.
Unless they erase that history.
That we resisted fiercely. That we fought for a different future, until we couldn't.
But that it is this little light to the future. As long as they can know that people did fight, then they can try it again.
That legacy lives in us.
And there are always lessons learned, too. You know, there's always tactical lessons learned from a failed uprising or revolution or attempted cultural change.
Dies with us too.
Yes, but it lives on in Iris.
Wherever she is.
Wherever she is.
You believe all that?
Of course. What you told me.
Then I guess I believe it too.
Now Noah is in principal red.
What did you say?
I'll do it.
Say that again.
I said I'll confess.
You've come to your senses. After all these years in here.
Years.
Years?
Finally.
Wow.
I'm so proud. Guard, no more doses. Let's get some fresh clothes. Maybe a haircut. Replace those broken glasses, won't you? We need to have her appear just like the Watcher we knew and loved.
Damn.
I'm back. Why did you leave the door open? Ay, yeah. It wasn't easy. No one saw me. I swear. Bah?
This is when he killed himself. That's what the countdown is. It's to him killing himself. I already know it. Is there something to interact with here, or is this just the light coming in from the house?
Hello? Ah, it's me. It's just me. There's no danger. No one saw me. Ay, 你去咗邊啊?
Yeah, no. No, he's gone. He's definitely gone. The music is, I think, getting quieter.
Why are the lights off? There's nothing to worry about. I found more ivy drip. You'll feel better right away. Bah?
She's such a survivor. You can sleep all you want. Oh shit. Is he dead in here? Nope, it's the Blahai.
I thought you hated making videos. You idiot. How far do you think you're going to get? Without me.
Oh, he made her a video and left?
All you have to do is repeat the lines. Simple as that.
The parallelism, the
Do you
camera.
understand?
I do.
This is the right thing to do, Watcher. I'm looking out for you. Repeat the lines as we
Wait a
practiced.
second.
Trust
This
me, okay?
this shell looks like blue. Is this blue? That sure looks like blue to me.
Okay.
We're rolling. Everyone can hear you now, Watcher. Just go ahead.
Sisters. It's me. Watcher.
Sorry, just checking my
I'm-
time.
Alive. I confirm it is year 3 AA. After All Mother.
After All Mother. Okay,
There's
gotcha.
Something I want you to know.
Let's rage.
When they were beating me up, there were 4. 5 of them. They were completely covered up. Helmet, gas mask, shield. No eyes. No skin showing. Nothing. What do you do when you face this kind of enemy? My brother called out for me as they dragged him away. That's what he said. What makes a person say this? I'm not strong like you. Like your mother. These sounds. Him screaming. My skull cracking. Do you know why I used to sing all the time? It helped to drown out the sounds.
Rage.
It's my birthday soon. I hate that. Trapped in this body, trapped in this age, trapped in this time.
Little unexpected Vampire Chronicles parallel there.
I never wanted to be a father. How could I? I lost all faith and respect for this world.
Wow.
But I couldn't tell your mom. She believed so deeply that this was how to reclaim the dignity we lost. To be honest, when you were born, it was hard for me to love you at first. Then after a while, it was the only thing I knew how to do.
Rage.
My sister asked me today what it was like to have a father. I don't know. I don't know that Iris anymore.
That too. Once enough time passes, you feel so far away from a lot of these experiences that they're just stories you tell yourself that have changed a lot.
She listened to music, I think. Wanted to draw pictures. That Iris took the easy way out. That Iris should have been stronger.
When you were growing up, there was this rage inside you that would burst out from time to time. I couldn't understand why. We tried to give you everything we didn't have. Maybe you felt the same way I did. Waking up one day on the wrong side of the wrong bed, and then living the rest of your life that way. Like wrong ingredients in a soup. Smells right, looks right, but in the stomach, it's bitter. I thought I could give you a life without such bitterness. But isn't this just the way? We do not get to choose what we inherit. I promised myself I would die in Hong Kong. That's where my ashes belong.
Let's keep going with the rage.
What Youngest made, all I could hear was blood. All I could taste was bitter.
What came over me?
Cutting that thing, I have never felt more powerful.
Do you see me now, Keepers? Look what I am capable of. Look how far I can go.
So when she killed the Zhao clone, that was after everything that we've seen in this chapter, it sounds like.
Youngest must learn the hard way. The other sisters will understand. She needs to be punished. Maybe she will finally grow.
Discipline, just like your parents showed you.
Maybe I will finally get some peace and quiet. This is the right thing for both of us. I am pushed too far.
Clara, you've taken such good care of me. I think you can finally take a day off.
Oh, man. It's not surprising to learn he had all of this darkness inside of him. I think we already knew that. But it's heartbreaking.
Okay. We can all meet there for some noodle, okay?
I can't believe you.
They deserve to know.
You think I was going to air this live?
Good, I didn't confess.
Without so much as a dress rehearsal? You stupid, selfish. Principal is not going to be pleased.
Oh, more time has passed. Now they're in a white uniform. Extraction.
This could have been easy. Honorable. Instead, guard, are we rolling?
Yes, High Minister.
Good morning, Watcher.
Sorry, guys. I'm just checking my text real quick. I have to go soon, but I want to finish this chapter.
Care to confess today?
No, we're gonna resist, baby.
Figured as much.
You knew, didn't you? Makes sense now. A knower always knows.
Ooh, can you guys hear that storm coming in?
You knew what she was doing. And you let her do it. And you let me do it.
Watcher, please.
So is Knower just like completely passive and just complicit in everything? Is she an Armand? Again, to hammer home my interview with the vampire obsession. Like,
The more time you spend in here, the more stories you're making up.
incapable of seizing or claiming any power that she does have.
Do you remember this?
Secretary.
Yes. And the piece you used to end Mother. How crude.
You're gonna kill me? Fine. Put me out of my misery, sister.
Extracting a confession is like pulling out a dirty, rotten tooth.
I'm not afraid.
Good. It'll hurt, but when it's all over, all healed, you'll feel cured. Free, even.
What are you waiting for?
Tell me, Watcher, who's to blame for Mother's death?
Principal, we all are. Say nothing. Let me think. I mean, who cares is my question. Like, you know, like from Watcher's perspective, she had it coming. Who fucking cares? Like, why are we still worshiping this mother? Principal had a hand in it, but clearly Knower has something going on. I think in line with what I was saying about people being complicit in upholding the systems that they are a part of, I'm gonna have to say we all are.
It was all of us, wasn't it? We all played a part, didn't we?
I see.
Oh!
Who did it, Watcher?
Again, we're going with rage. I'm gonna curse her.
Fuck you. Focus on the question, please, Watcher.
Mom, are you just gonna stand around?
No one cares, sister. But how much do you care? For that remaining eye of yours.
No. Oh shit. She already took one out. Wow.
This will all be over faster if you don't resist. Let's try again. Watcher, who's to blame for Mother's death?
Resist.
Mom! They'll get you too! I hope you burn.
A pity.
Oh, fuck. And they're ringing. Oh, did I just get a text? Yeah. I was going to be meeting up with a friend at the park, but we might just skip that part today. A different time. That's good. That buys me a little bit more time to get through this chapter.
A watcher who can no longer see.
A watcher who can no longer see. Maybe just get some food and see the movie. In either order. Okay. Thanks for your patience, everyone.
Guard, you can stop the recording. Clean this mess up, please. But leave her.
Oh, shit. Oh, I'm tied up, but the father's here. Okay.
Mui,
You can't stop me from going.
not here to stop you. I just want to talk.
I don't have much time. They're waiting.
We fled too. You know? Left our friends and family behind.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, it was Mom who was brave enough to have hope. Brave enough to want more for our lives. More for your life. Always hard to know when to stay, when to go.
Yeah.
But when we made that choice, we hurt many people. What I'm saying, Mui, is that she will come to understand your decision.
She's so angry.
She's got that rage.
I know. That's a mother's job.
To be pissed off all the time.
Is it?
Just promise to come home. You don't have to mean it.
Oh, man. Oh, the generational... The family dynamic of the angry parent whose emotions kind of run everything, and then the parent who's a liar and placates them. And obviously sometimes they can switch off in how they play those roles. But, damn.
False hope is still...
False hope is still hope.
And it will take care of us for a while.
False hope will take care of us for a while. That's fine by me. Let's see. There's a ton of showings. Sorry. Hello, Fat Tummy Tea. Great name. Much better than Flat Tummy Tea. Oh, now we got Iris. So the father said false hope is still hope. It'll get us through for a little while. Sometimes that's all you've got. And that was clearly his coping strategy, right? Like he was always just floating by on sunny fake positivity.
Joe?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Maybe you were right.
Ooh, you think so?
Here from Tumblr. Welcome.
About what?
They won't be children forever. Not like me. Or you.
Wow. So Iris is saying both her and Zhao are trapped in different ways in a perpetual childhood, but the sisters are going to grow.
Iris.
They have a chance to grow. Maybe I should let them. If the Keepers can speak to me this way, I'm sure I can repurpose it. Show them the past.
Oh, okay. So she communes. Okay. Oh, okay. She communes with the occupants. The secretaries help her commune with them and communicate using snippets of memories as a form of language, since they're aliens who use a completely different language. We already know that that's how they work because that happened to Watcher. So she's been what the clones think is having sex with the occupants, but it's communion. And now she wants to use communion to communicate with her kids.
But they may not like what happened.
Maybe that's okay.
Okay, that's very mature. That's the most mature Iris has ever sounded.
Yes, it's okay.
To let her kids know what's happening in the world. And let them have their own opinions of her. That's, I think, the true mark of a parent. Being willing to... The incredible vulnerability of being that flawed and admitting to those flaws and letting your child be someone completely different from you. What they make of it, they might not just dislike you, they might believe in something completely different from what you believe in. And if you can make peace with that as a parent, then you actually are not trying to control your child. And how many of us can say we would do that or have done that?
The most important thing, whether they like it or not, is to remember.
Damn. Oh, there's nowhere.
Watch her. Watch her, watch her, watch her. Ah, look at you. You should be dead, you know. Principal asked for your head. But I couldn't do that to my own sister. So I brought her your eyes instead.
Oh, that's why it's in the dark, of course. Yeah, I lost my eyeballs.
Still warm to the touch. Think of this as a favor. You've seen too much. Now you can give that all a rest. Is this how you pictured the future? Principal, you can't imagine what she's capable of. Or maybe, of all people, you really can.
I mean, if Principal's been around that long, I mean, she's already done some wild shit from what we've seen, but she also has like that massive guilt on her conscience of being made into the scapegoat of history, the evil ancient sister that everybody's been taught to hate. And meanwhile, it's her.
We were happy before, weren't we? We had our functions, our simple pleasures. We had each other.
They were not happy.
And now look at us. I guess Mother was right. It is our lot to be bound.
Oh, shit. Let me check. I can hear my phone was going off here. Oh, revising plans means now there's a group chat. Oh, jeez. All the back and forth.
Everyone, settle down.
Mother, what is this about?
This is the youngest, okay. Yeah. In Principal, Red.
Please. I'm asking nicely.
I guess she's gonna actually tell them what's going on.
You're nervous.
Just sit down.
Is this about your sleepwalking?
Will you let me explain? We are going to have a communion. Yes, a communion. All together.
What is that word?
I want to share a memory with you. Something special to me.
I hear
special too.
blood pumping in the sound. If you're listening on speaker, you might not hear it, but there's Watcher's blood pumping in your ear.
My mother. A place from a long time ago.
A place on the surface with humans?
Mm-hmm. That's right. Now, close your eyes. Closed? Yes? In 3, 2, 1.
Are we going to see it? Oh, whoa. I did not expect us to ever get video. Wow. This is like when everything goes into color in Wizard of Oz or something. Like, they've been living in such a restricted, controlled reality, and now here's everything just growing with life, with all the dimensionality of like a real human life on the surface. Wow. It's beautiful. The cars are moving backward. For some reason. And so are the people. Is it because we're moving backward in time? Is that why it's moving backward? It's rewind time. Yeah. God, that made me think of fucking Hamilton. God damn it. Rewind. Fuck. No. Cognito hazard. Hamilton. It's really beautiful. So how did it come to be that the communions were something only the Watchers did? Damn. Okay. Oof. 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 Hold on. Let me save. Ari said, a thing I have thought about a lot. I was raised with more traditional Chinese values than my cousins who actually lived in mainland China. Because when my parents immigrated, their perception of home became stuck in time, and they passed that on to me. I like the backwards touch in that representation of her parents being the same way. I've heard the same thing quite a lot about immigrant families, that there tends to be a selection of certain personality types and ideologies that are more likely to immigrate. They tend to be people who can be very fiercely independent, which can also come with a lot of conservatism in certain ways. And that combined with being completely detached from your home culture in an unfamiliar place and not seeing that culture live and change means that people get kind of stuck in time. and you see it in conversations about like what's authentic, right? Too, like what's an authentic version of a culture, what's an authentic version of a food, or music or anything else, as if it just exists in amber. And that's not true. That happens in how people talk about indigeneity a lot as well, where people talk about like traditional practices or traditional indigenous medicine or something, as if those cultures wouldn't have continued to change and didn't continue to change. If they hadn't been slaughtered, they would have continued to develop things. And for the indigenous societies that do still exist, they have continued to evolve and change. And so people talk about them as if they're more, people do all this like weird, like noble savage stuff, that they're like more pure, more innocent, unsullied, more primitive. And that's not how any culture behaves, right? Every culture continues to change and develop. So I think there's some parallels there, obviously. And it makes conversations about culture a lot more complicated. They have to be, because culture is this ever-changing thing. Like, you can even talk about generation as culture. The way that I speak is so, like, Alexander Avila has this great video about how millennials present themselves, that like they're, because of the particular moment in time that we were growing up in, we use certain affectations, often making ourselves seem more casual and like jokey. And that's different. And then there's more sarcasm, and that's different from how Zoomers on average communicate, because they were coming up in a different time, and they were a correction, a reaction to what we did and to what their parents did. And there's different ways of speaking, different ways of being. It's a really interesting video. It's about Taylor Swift, ostensibly, but it's using Taylor Swift as a means to talk about what being a millennial means and what millennial culture is. And of course, it's really more white American millennial culture, but it bleeds out wider than that. It affects more people than that, and is reflected in other people too, to a different extent. But what generation you grew up in is in some ways a culture. As much as I hate like really overgeneralized generational analysis, you can't go back. Like, the way people speak, the way people think, the way people live, it changes, like the social norms change because of phones and speaker phones and Bluetooth and social media and everything. And so you can't ever go back to it. Thank you so much for sharing what you shared, Ari. There's so much interesting shit going on in this game, and it doesn't spoon feed it to you either. It really, the more you dive in, the more you get. I don't see the group chat, maybe because I'm not iPhone. Wait, never mind, now I do. Silly me. Gosh, this is probably, well, let's see. We're gonna find out what movie time we're going to here, so that'll determine whether I can finish out this chapter or not. Thanks everyone for your patience. Let me switch my view real quick so that I can look up these movie times. I have to go have potatoes now. Thank you for streaming and chatting, y'all. Thank you so much for being here, Mask for Mask, and thank you for your amazing name. Great to see ya. Let's see, 5 p.m. since you said the 3:15 was too soon. These chapters have been getting... It's weird because like chapter 4 was really short, but then 5 was really long. Or maybe like there's been a few chapters that are short, but these chapters have otherwise been getting longer and longer. And I love just getting to really masticate every little line and detail because you can see how much care was put into this game and the writing. It's so good. So if I'm seeing a movie at 5, I can definitely do a little bit more. But we'll see. We'll see here how much time we got. And we might be close to the end of this chapter for all I know, in which case it'll be a good starting point. But each one is such... or stopping point. Each one is such a good little morsel. Moving back in time. So is the next, like, are we going to see more of that flashback of Iris's life? And was that... I mean, that was Hong Kong, right? So Iris was never there. So is that the parents' memory? Are we getting into some kind of like epigenetic memory thing? Like that's been kind of implied throughout the game so far. That there's kind of a memory contained within people, even of the memories that they weren't there present physically for. Like there's been some suggestions that the clones kind of have memories of Iris potentially inside of them that they inherited. Come on, guys. Sounds like we're going at 5 p.m., so I'll probably have time here. I'm gonna close my window because it's cold. Generational trauma in the genes. Yes. Though I feel like that's one of those things where we're only just starting to understand how it works. And of course, there's a lot of like really bad science reporting about it. That generational trauma, as I understand it, and I'm no expert either by any means, that it causes a lot of like decay in the DNA structure, like trouble replicating and trouble producing and expressing certain genes. And so it's not that you get like a genetic marker specifically for something that your parents endured, like you literally have that experience transposed on you, but that your genetic material has more room for like errors and breakdowns. So you're more likely to develop different illnesses and genetic conditions over time because things aren't being like expressed. That's my very limited understanding of epigenetics. And people, it gets like reported in the press as more like, oh, you know, if something bad happened to your parents, then it's like your body thinks that it happened to it itself too. And I don't think it's quite like that. I think it's just decay of the genetic structure, which can cause a ton of fucking health problems. But that's my understanding. But there's all kinds of interesting stuff like the Danish hunger winter, where during World War II there was a famine, and this isn't quite epigenetics, this is natal trauma, where the children who were being like gestated by their parents, so they were in the womb during the time of the starvation, they grew up to have a much higher rate of like bipolar disorder and a lot of different mental health issues and like psychosis and stuff than babies who were born like a year afterwards. So they would have gestated during a time of not famine, and along with a lot of other different health issues as well. And that being mostly just like the physiological stress somehow affecting the body, even when they weren't consciously present for it. They didn't have enough to develop on when they were in the womb, and so the legacy of that stayed with them forever after. I need to do more research on epigenetics. My general feel toward it has been low-key more spiritual and not very rooted in science. Well, I think people use the science sometimes to talk about the spiritual and the social that is also real, but people take things more seriously when there's a biological explanation for it. So people really, it's the same thing with like neuroscience. Like that's a big hobby horse of mine. That neuroscience is in its infancy. It really doesn't understand much, but people love to hear a psychological explanation couched in neuroscientific language because then it feels real to them. It's physical. So if you tell people, oh, attachment trauma has this and this effect in a lot of people, they'll be like, yeah, sure, I believe that, whatever, it's plausible. But then if you tell them there's a part of the brain that looks different in people who have undergone attachment trauma, then they really think it's real. Same thing with like depression being a chemical imbalance. Depression is depression. If the person looks, feels, and acts and thinks depressed, they're depressed. They just are. That should be enough, but we're so used to discounting our bodily needs and disabilities and things like that that it has to be biological for people to believe it. I think what you take away spiritually is valid, but I am also separately fascinated by what the biological reasons and definitions might be. Yeah. I think there's so little that we know really about how to tease those things apart too, you know? Like it's kind of impossible to tease it apart because if someone has the biological markers of that stuff, they probably have it culturally and socially as well. But yeah, my very, very limited understanding is that the epigenetics of trauma are that the genes get worse at reproducing. And so some genes might just stop functioning. And so then you might have any number of genetic disorders because of that. Like your body's not making connective tissue correctly, or you can't digest something. You might have an allergy or something like that. I'm just pulling examples out of my ass, and so I'm sure there's more patterns to what genes tend to not express. I'm sure it's not like random, but yeah, it's really fascinating stuff. And God, when did they first start talking about the epigenetics of trauma? Like, I feel certainly in my adult lifetime, I would say. Okay, yeah, we're going to the movie at 5. Oh yes, my cat has been so sweet. If I touch her, she'll make a little noise, but the mic probably won't pick it up. Okay, I'm gonna close my window because it's fucking cold from this storm, and then we can round out this chapter of the game, I reckon. Oh, baby. When I wake up in the morning, she starts purring just because she's like happy I'm awake and alive and she wants attention. Like she's such a baby. She loves me so much, and sometimes it drives me nuts, but I love her so much. Okay, we are in year 7 after All Mother. So time has moved since the confession. And here's the blind watcher. Oh, she was right. She was in the crystal. She had the thing over her eyes, but we never... Did she just look at me? Yeah. She's following the movement. So am I just like existing in my memory and all I can see is what I did? Is that what that represents?
So, you finally found a way out. What is that place we keep seeing?
Your cat purrs when he wants food? That's surprising. Like, I thought it was meant they were like happy or excited about something.
An ancient human city. It keeps reoccurring everywhere. It's an obsession. Does it still exist?
In what sense?
I don't know. In any sense.
Okay, so Watcher said you finally found a way out. things are operating on so many levels here. So we're back to Blue, who found a way out from Old Town, came up to the main level, and then did a terrorist attack that killed Principal. We think. We don't know if it was successful. But with the other Joust, did a terrorist attack. So now am I dead and I'm talking to Watcher, or am I in a communion? Did Blue also get to do that communion and see Iris's memories? Even though that was a memory of Iris showing her memories, though it looked like maybe it was her parents' memories, to the original 5 clones long, long ago. This endless recursion, remembering a remembrance, it's fucking confusing.
I believe that's up to us. I don't know where you end and I begin.
Me neither. I am so confused.
It's messy, isn't it? We've been in here for a long time. Longer than I've ever attempted. But now, you've seen everything I have to show.
Oh, been inside a communion longer than she's ever been in a communion. Okay, so this is Watcher communing with Blue to show everything that led to Watcher getting to this point. And Watcher and Blue might be the same person, but we don't know.
These last fragments were what Principal wanted to hide. They needed to be seen. We'll never get anywhere by tampering with history. After this, I want you to understand. This communion will no longer protect us. Time will march forward.
Oh shit.
And we must confront our sins.
Oh fuck. Well, what happens if I say I'm not ready?
I want to stay a while longer. Remember, nostalgia can be a dangerous thing.
Wow. Damn. Oh my god, what on earth is happening? Oh my god, I'm so confused. So was Blue Watcher after she was tortured and they did the thing that they promised her where they just like gave her a new identity and new eyeballs? Or did Blue find some way to commune with the Watcher who was trapped in the crystal after the terrorist attack with the Joust, where they killed Principal, but probably didn't actually successfully do it? We don't know yet. Or is something else going on entirely? But Watcher has tried to get Blue up to speed to everything that Watcher knows and sees.
The past can be alluring. I know.
The escapism of it all. All right, let's go.
Let's go. I'm glad to hear that. You know?
And letting go of the past is so important. Because there is something so conservative about trying to keep time trapped in amber, like you were talking about before, Ari. And yeah, there's just an escapism to it, a rewriting of what's true, not acknowledging everything that was flawed about the past.
I learned a thing or two this time around. So did I. We need to change. Together, then? Into the future. Move? What's going on?
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Okay, so I guess we're going to find a lot of that stuff out about who Blue is and how Watcher came to be where she is later. We're just literally going into real time. Years into being tortured. 3 years into being tortured for Watcher. And Blue. And Bang Bang Fire has been rogue.
What the fuck? Nowhere. What did you do to her?
Straight to judgment. You haven't changed, little sister.
Bang Bang Fire. Yeah, Bang Bang Fire. I really like Fixer. I love Healer's design, the completely covered face mask. I think that's so sick.
Her eyes. What happened to her eyes?
I did what I had to do.
Come on your feet. I'm here.
Baby?
I love that they chose to give Bang Bang Fire this very whimsical voice, that they didn't make her sound tough.
The days get shorter, don't they?
Baby, is that really you?
That she, even though she's the muscle, she's the power, she's not aggressive. Like, she's very, like, fun
As me as I'll
and
ever be.
soft.
Secretary. Don't forget Secretary.
Yeah, why haven't you thanked me yet? Nowhere is tough.
I've got them. Don't worry.
Yeah, it does sound like... Well, it sounds like all three of them have been a resistance force, but Nowhere has been, like, their man on the inside.
Baby,
Like she was claiming to be.
your arm.
Okay, so BB's missing an arm.
She's blind.
You really took your time.
You said she would be safe.
She's breathing, isn't she?
Oh my god, Nowhere. Nowhere. Come
That is
on,
not
girlie.
what I meant.
No thanks? No acknowledgement? You're the one who's obsessed with this whole bloodless encounter.
Nowhere is so fucked up.
Taking your sweet time, everything in its right place. Don't you understand by now? Someone will always get hurt. That is the reality. You're lucky she still remembers who she is.
Bruh, you've been torturing her for 3 years. You're lucky she isn't more messed up from the things I've been doing to her this whole time.
Let's go, BB. Nowhere. Things are in motion, okay? We'll be in touch.
Wait,
Oh, you want to thank you? Well,
Punch her. Nowhere is the eldest child. So fucked up. Now that's another thing that we can talk about is family birth order dynamics. Because yes, this is stuff I always used to find so fun. It's a little bit personality test-y, right? Like it overgeneralizes, but it's also a real pattern. Like eldest kids tend to be the most accomplished, but also the most similar to their parents' value systems. Just like you're saying. Unless there's some kind of major disruption in the family unit. So typically eldest borns tend to be more conservative, tend to be more traditional, tend to be more likely to stick with the family business, so on and so forth, fulfill the family role, unless there's some major disruption in the family system, like an estrangement, or something like that, or abuse, or whatever. But then, of course, heaped on top of that, the burden of looking after the other kids in the family, or being a parent figure's confidant, or being kind of spouseified by a parent. Those are all things, obviously, that eldest kids have to endure a lot. So, yeah, a lot of that is packed up in there. And Watcher as the youngest, but then Principal is a youngest who became a leader. Which is interesting. But this Knower, this is also the first Knower, the first purple, all the way through, right? So but nobody calls her eldest. We haven't heard anybody call her eldest yet, right?
Attend to me.
What do you mean?
Make it look convincing.
Oh, they have to beat her ass.
Your wrench. That should do the trick.
Are you doing okay?
No, she's not good.
You know me, sister. I'm doing what I must.
Yeah, you're better at that than I am.
You've always been.
Ooh. And like, what younger sibling hasn't wanted to clock the eldest? Probably.
You could have let her finish. Hurts less when you can't see it coming. Besides, I hate when she gets sentimental.
Yes, let's save my game. Damn. Oh, God, I want to keep going, but I can't because these chapters have been like 2 hours, so I can't do that. We're like almost 3 hours in this case, so I can't keep going because I won't get very far. Oh my God, this game is so good. Oh, fuck. And I'm really glad I'm streaming it, both to share it with other people and because I don't blow through shit as fast when I have to really talk through how I'm experiencing it and getting feedback from other people who are also watching. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love this game. This game is so... There's so much to chew on. Oh shit. Let me close this out before it... Oh shoot, it's playing. Close, damn it. There we go. Don't want to hear a moment of the next chapter. I got very motion sick while playing and tried to speed through it, and it was a detriment to the experience, so it's good to sit and digest it more. The controls are a little fucky sometimes, right? I know it says you're supposed to use a controller, which I haven't been, but yeah, I think it's there's been times where I've found it really hard to navigate or see around. The mechanics are really simple. The map sucks. I just gave up on the map. Like, I was just going around in a loop because I knew I'd hit what I was looking for eventually because the map sucked ass. So there are flaws for sure. But it's also a conversation simulator / walking simulator, which is still my favorite type of game. Like, I love just sitting with narrative and storytelling, and exploring the map and finding things is fun and rewarding in the game when you're not just those moments where you're just kind of stuck and it's really frustrating, kind of blow. But other than that, I think I was kind of on that conservative eldest child path, but the parental queer phobia really fixed that. Yeah, that'll do it. I definitely had... I mean, I was a libertarian. Like I said, my family was Republicans, and I was a libertarian. That was my way of, like, rebelling without actually rebelling, because libertarianism was basically taking every conservative talking point and pushing it to its most extreme version. So my family couldn't really argue with me, so I could disagree with them and win the debate all the time, while arguing for the eradication of the military and abortion and all of these, like, freedoms that I believed in, like gay marriage and stuff like that. I used, like, kind of a conservative, to them, like a conservative friendly argumentation to make an argument for all of the, like, liberal social policies that I believed in and, like, anti-imperialism. But I still was pretty conservative. Like, I was a libertarian, so that meant that I thought that people should just live independently and be strong and make money and work hard and, you know, not rely on the government. I was concerned about the nanny state and all that bullshit. But I was very, very passionate about queer rights. For some reason, I was one of those overly invested allies for a long time. For some reason. And so outraged by my mom watching Bill O'Reilly all the time and being really conservative and voting for conservative politicians. Live and let live times infinity. Yeah, that was the argument that I could make. And my family, to this day, they're not homophobic, actually. Like, my sister just became gay, and they've been great about it and very blasé. And my family also wasn't even, like, racist in the way you would assume that, like, Midwest white conservatives would be. Like, they actually would, like, not, they would actually, like, speak out against things that they thought were unjust and racist and things like that. And a lot of not super engaged conservative people are, like, they believe in a live and let live and treat everybody the same, even though that doesn't actually work in practice, kind of politics, but it's still so capitalistic and they don't see the disconnect. Like my family would vote for these conservative politicians, and I would be pissed and hurt because those politicians were saying and doing all of these terribly homophobic things, and I was so hurt, and my family couldn't understand it because they were like, well, we're just doing it for some idea of tax reasons that don't even affect us because we're lower middle class, but we're doing it for economic reasons. We're not doing it because of hate. So why are you so mad at us? This isn't about us. And couldn't understand why I was so pissed about it. So that was a big point of alienation for me from my family, was queer stuff in the early 2000s. And today it's the exact same way, but with trans stuff. Like, we're just living out the early Bush years in so many ways all over again. And yeah. Oh, Ari, did you see my hypno tattoo? Just as hypno heads in the chat. This is my new hypno tat. But yeah. Yeah, I just got it. There's this amazing artist here in Chicago who does like flash tattoos of Pokemon. She's drawn like the first like 500 and some or 600 and some Pokemon. And you come into her studio on the day of and you pick one that hasn't been claimed yet. And then she marks it down, and nobody else can ever get them. And yeah, she gave me a very cool little gestury looking hypno. So I'm wearing my freak fully on my throat. But yeah, that was like the weird negotiation of like, I said I was a libertarian because then that gave me a reason to be pro queer rights without actually getting into fights with my parents. But otherwise I was still fulfilling a lot of my parents' expectations until I had this great, fun family estrangement followed by a death happen, and had to kind of redefine myself in the wake of that, which was ultimately what I needed to do. But suffice to say, this is a game that really speaks to, I think, a lot of people with different experiences. My family were not recent immigrants or anything like that, but my dad's family was Appalachian and had a lot of generational poverty and trauma, and being othered to the extent that white Americans can be, like they're hillbillies are seen as failures of whiteness. They still have all of the privileges that white people do if they're white, and some of my relatives weren't, but most of them were. And just like weird, scrappy ways of surviving that manifest in all kinds of different generational trauma and stuff. Oh yeah, no, I know you're saying the tattoo is cool, not the generational trauma. Don't worry. But anyway, this game speaks to just so many different flavors of that experience in such a fascinating and lovely way. So I'm gonna sick generational trauma exchange his compliments. Yeah, no, don't worry. I was not offended in the least. And also, it was cool what happened to me, like I disowned my dad when I was 18. I disowned him when I was 16, stopped talking to him. And then I changed my last name at 18, and then he died. I did, and that was sick, like I did what I had to do. I felt very guilty about it for a very long time. And these days I do feel compassion towards him and everything that he did wrong and why, this game really speaks to that too. Like, as you grow older and you make mistakes that are so similar to your parents, you have more compassion to them. And it also doesn't make anything that they did wrong less wrong. And you can still not want to have them in their life. All of the friends I've recommended it to have really enjoyed the game with all of their own cultures and experiences. Yeah, this is stuff that it looks differently, but it touches so many people's lives in so many different ways. And it's been such a delight to play. I'm so glad to have you here watching the stream, Ari. Hopefully sometime you can catch another chapter of this game so we can talk about it more. I want to do more again soon because I'm just loving it. Okay, speaking of queer stuff, we're gonna raid Matt Baum. Some of you may know him from his YouTube videos about queer Hollywood and queer media. He makes really great videos, and he's just a sweetheart. Thank you everybody for being here. NB, etc. I think that's my first time seeing your name in the chat. Great to see you. Great to see you, Ari. Thank you everybody who's been here. This has been so fun. Hope to do it again soon. And with that, I'm going to send you on over to Matt Baum. Bye.